Hey guys, this is Trab. In the upcoming tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Pageblocks with a global overview of the features. If you're already a little familiar with Pageblocks and you understand how to use the widgets inside, I would definitely recommend jumping to tutorial 2, where I'm going to dive into how to build out a page inside of Pageblocks on your blog and make it look awesome. Thanks so much. See you inside of the tutorials. Hey my friends, welcome to another Kalatu Premium tutorial. In this video, we're going to show you how to use Pageblocks from the ground up in a basic overview. Now, there will be a second part to this tutorial which you can find in the tutorial section down here on the left. This tutorial is going to cover a global overview of what's inside Pageblocks as well as how to use some of those features. The advanced tutorial will show Pageblocks in action and how to use it across the platform. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pageblocks. I'm going to head to Plugins and Applications up here on the left-hand side. Right then, I'm going to go to Pageblocks. You can see here that I've got a full menu of options. Okay. General is where you can enable Pageblocks to be used. So if you want Pageblocks to work for your lightboxes, themes, pop-unders, content blaster, testimonials, you can select all of these and click Save Settings. Widgets for a bit more advanced features. Widget title HTML, as well as legacy bundle widgets and recommended widgets. By default, recommended widgets should be enabled, so make sure that's enabled. For advanced users, you'll likely already know how to manipulate the HTML title for the widget that you want to be used. If you don't know what this is, it's probably best to be left alone because it's not a feature that you're going to need as a necessity to use Pageblocks. Heading over to Layout, this should all be set by default. You can change this to update some mobile width settings as well as some bottom row margins and some other options within Pageblocks. By default though, this should say 780, 3030 and body with the responsive layout enabled. Heading over to content, copy content should be enabled. Once that's done, click Save Settings. Let's head over to Pageblocks and put it into use. So you'll see here that this is general settings for Pageblocks here. However, if you head under Pages, you can either click Pageblocks Builder or add a new page, and I'll show you how to use Pageblocks. I'm going to come in here and add a new page. Now I would name my page as normal, and I would click Pageblocks or Page Builder over here on the right hand side. So again, let me show you where that is. Right here we have our visual editor, which is where the page defaults. I'm going to head over to Page Builder or Pageblocks and click that option. Now you can see here that I give it a little bit different of a layout. Once I've got this open, I can go ahead and click a few options here. I have the options to add a widget, add a row, pre-built, history, or live editor. Let's go ahead and start with what this box is. Now in here, I can add a row or add a widget to start dragging and dropping some of the options of what my page is going to look like. So let's take a look at what that is. I would always recommend starting with a row. The row is going to allow you to drop in a few items. That way you can drag and drop the positions of where you want those items. You can also manually reposition so that you have the exact width of exactly what you'd want to put in there. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to click Add a Widget and then come over here and you can see that I have access to all of my regular widgets, but I also have access to the Pageblocks widgets as well. Let's talk about these very quickly. Pageblocks button is going to actually allow me to customize a button. Pageblocks editor is going to allow me to put in some rich text or HTML text. This is a feature of a collection of icons that you can put in as one bulk. You can also access a Google Maps widget inside of Pageblocks, an image widget, which is also pretty much identical to the custom image widget. They work a little bit differently though. And Pageblocks post carousel as well as the slider. Now, the slider is going to slide over images or videos, and the post carousel is going to act as a post carousel for a category of blog posts. Let's go ahead and select a few of these. I'm going to go ahead and put in a few images now. I'm going to use the custom image widget. You can see here that it's appeared here. Now I'm going to select edit and I'm going to come in here and put an image. Notice that you do have some extra menu options when you are editing the images that you drop in. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to click here and click Market Reliability as this image. You can see that I have title here, so I would fill out this normally. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm not going to fill this out because I want to just be able to show you guys more of the features. But you would want to fill out the title, the alternate text, which this is important. Make sure you include a couple keywords in here, caption of what your video is, but it's not required, and a link to where you want the video to go to. I'm going to go ahead and throw in Google real quick. And I'm going to have that open in a new window so my site's still up. I'm going to click Done. And before I click done, I just want to bring your eyes up to these attributes, layout, and design. Again, this is for more of our CSS advanced users in the widget class here. If you need though, you can just update the layout padding, which I would recommend if you wanted to add a little bit of extra space or some background images as well as how you want the image to display. By default though, it's going to look pretty good. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and name my page, page 1. Now I'm going to preview my page, and you can see here that my image has appeared here. Now let me show you what the drag and drop builder looks like. Once you're in here, you can actually drag and drop any of your widget icons as well as the spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over to the center so you can get an idea of what that looks like. Let's go ahead and click preview. You can see here now that it's become a center icon. Now here's where the real power of Pageblocks shine. I'm going to go ahead and add in a few more widgets, but let's say I wanted to add in this widget across the board 3 times. I can duplicate it, drag it, and drop it. It's going to keep all of my settings and all of my items that were already set up. So now I'm dragging and dropping a build of a website or my blog. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit more robust and show you some of the power of the other widgets inside of it. I'm going to add another widget. Let's go ahead and add a text editor. So I'm going to add a text editor now and just come in here and edit my text like I normally would. Now for the purpose of this, you can include a title up here, but I'm not going to do that because I personally my preference is to add in something that is all centered and has a little less space than the title. And I'll show you what I mean. Reduce the font size a little bit. Come over here. All right, now that we've got some text set up, I'm just going to click done here. Again, please note that you can change any of the settings on here. You can actually add some background images and some cool stuff over to the inside of your text box. That's one of the features of these Pageblocks widgets. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. Again, I've just copied that, and you can see here that I'm dragging my text under my image, and now I've got 3 text boxes under the image. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. You can see here that it's dragged that. Now I can literally re-drag those items to anywhere I want, and it's essentially going to be drag and drop on the page. Now you can customize those with spacing and other options if you want to. Let's take a look at some of the other widgets as well. All right, back into the widgets. I'm going to go ahead and add an entirely new row because I want this entire row to be filled out by something else. So I'm going to put it at 1. Now you can change these row layouts all the way up to 20, which means you could have a tiny box for everything here. Or you could have one big box, not with 20, excuse me. You probably want to put 10 if you wanted a bigger box, and you can resize one of these boxes to an equivalent ratio without completely erasing one of the other boxes. So you can really set this up exactly how you want to. But I'm going to go ahead and put in 1. Now this is going to span across the entire Pageblocks area for that row. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an image here. I'm going to come in and click edit. I'm going to choose my image. And let's go ahead and select something. This is pretty, this is a big banner here. Let's go ahead and put this. So again, you can put in your title, alt text, and the destination URL. I'm going to go ahead and put apple.com for this one. And I do want that to open in a new window. So I'm going to leave this as full. I can again change any of my image sizes in here, as well as some of the attributes and layouts. But again, I've dragged it here. I could drag that image to here if I wanted to, or over to this box. But I want that in my 100% box, so I'm going to go put it here. Now, please keep in mind that these extra features down here, these are going to apply to your entire page. So it's still important to set up your SEO, your tags, your featured image, all of that. Okay. Now I'm going to click preview. You can see here that it's dragged in my image right there. And if I click it, it should take me over to apple.com, as well as my images up here, which we're going to google.com. So there's really a lot of power inside of Pageblocks, and the drag and drop builder is completely up to you on how you want to set it up. Now let's talk about a few other things really quickly in the basic, and then again in the advanced tutorial, we'll go ahead and set up something very quickly that looks good, that you can change and optimize to set up your blog in just about any way that you want to. We'll go over a few theme settings in there too, so you can get a full layout just like this. Now, let's bring your attention back real quick. I want to show you that I've clicked Live Editor. The Live Editor is going to show me my page layout, okay? Now it's going to highlight certain items here. If I click that item, it's going to reference it on the left-hand side. But I can actually come over here, and you're not going to be able to drag and drop from this menu, but you are going to be able to change some of the items inside. So if I clicked this and I wanted this one to say, right? So if I actually put these in here as placeholders, which you can do, you can go ahead and put some placeholder text in here and then take a look at what your page looks like. I don't want this to say option 1 anymore. I want this to say middle option. Now I'm going to go ahead and click done. And all I've done is just change my text from within the live editor, and it'll reflect this so on the page. So you can actually edit these very quickly from the page and edit your layout with a live view of what it's going to look like. Again, you can get to that by clicking the live editor area. Let's talk about a few more quick features. One more is I'm going to add another row, and I'm going to insert it, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in the Pageblocks editor, or excuse me, let's do the Layout Builder. Now Layout Builder is another Pageblocks widget. This is a complete Pageblocks builder that allows you to put anything inside of it. So it's like another one of these boxes here within the widget. So again, I can add rows now inside of this builder. So if I was wanting a bigger space and I wanted 3 down here, I could then change this full layout builder within the area. Let's go ahead and do this. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Okay. So I've now put that in there. Those buttons are, let me show you what that looks like actually. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and I'm going to put a star. And I'm just going to select done. And I'm going to delete these because they don't have any content inside of them. I'm going to duplicate this one because it does have content. Let me show you what those stars look like. Now keep in mind, my layout builder, it looks like it's one row here, but it's actually a bunch of, or 2 rows and a bunch of widgets inside of that layout builder. So that's if you want to just use one layout builder. So I could actually remove this entire area up here, remove this down here, and just work inside of this layout builder if I wanted to lay out my page in here. Let's take a look at what this looks like. If I did it right, there should be 5 star icons somewhere in the middle there, right? I can drag and drop those any way I wanted to. Let's say I didn't like the way that those were laid out, because truthfully, that looks a little weird. I'm going to go ahead and change that inside of the layout builder. Keep in mind, the layout builder falls where you place it. If I move it up here, it's going to come above my images and above my text. So it's very simple to drag and drop the positioning of exactly what you'd like. I'm going to come in here and edit this. I don't really like how these 2 were and these 3 were down here. So what I'm going to do is edit the row. I'm going to make this 5 so I can put them all equal, and then come up here, drag them, and delete my secondary row. Now I'm going to click done, preview, and it should look a little bit better this time. There we go. Each of these buttons are customizable inside of the button widget. They can also go to a website. They can go to one of your other pages. Let's talk about that very quickly. So other attributes in SEO here. You can set this up and add additional content. You can actually add JavaScript if you know how to use JavaScript, but it's not necessary. Again, all of your features are going to be up here. Now let's talk about this real quick. Select content. Now, select content is actually going to pull from any of your content within Pageblocks. This is going to reference pages, it's going to reference posts, it's going to reference categories, it's going to reference contact forms. You can click this and it's going to link it right to a certain post or right to a certain page. This is going to become a very powerful feature when you're setting up buttons, images, links. Any of the widgets inside of here should have the select content feature, and you can put it right there. That way you don't have to go find the exact post you're looking for, take the link, come back in here, post in the link. You can simply just click select content, find what you want, and put it in there. And it's going to take them right to there. You can also select to open in a new window. Now, for the buttons and the icons here, you have a bunch of choices, almost over 1,000 choices of icons that you can use. Simply just select one and select the icon color, come back here, and click Done. Now before we click Done, let's go ahead and preview it, because let's say I didn't want to post it live without seeing what it looks like. Okay, looking there, I can see that those colors kind of clash. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to select something a little bit different for my icon. Let's try this out. That's a little bit better. So now I'm going to click Done. Before we click Done, I do want to bring your attention over to this Help icon here. When you click this Help icon, it's going to open up a PDF that will walk you through some of these sections. So let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to delete everything inside of Pageblocks. And you can see by default, you can download this PDF if you need help. Anytime you see these links that say PDF or Help, go ahead and click it, and you're going to get access to a PDF that's going to walk you through certain sections with visual and text information on how to use certain sections, how to use certain widgets, how to use rows, and more. Another thing is the pre-built layouts. When you go into pre-built layout, you're not going to see any pre-built layouts for the themes. We're going to be adding those later on when we get an idea of what you guys like, and we're going to be building pre-built layouts that we can put in for your themes. However, we wanted to include this feature because you can clone pages that you've already used. You can clone posts that you've already used. So you can come in here and change just about anything you want, duplicate a page. Really, there's a lot of ease to using this when you start creating content, because you can copy something that you've done before and make a few tweaks and have an entirely new page. Lastly, let's go over a couple more of the widgets, and then we'll get into the advanced tutorial in a different video. The Pageblocks Google Maps, this is going to be a little bit of a powerhouse feature for those of us who want some Google Maps. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a widget. Now if you add a widget by default, it's going to do a 100% row. Remember again, our rows, we can resize to anything that we want to and even break it down with ratios. So I'm going to go ahead and take Google Maps, come in here, and I'm going to go ahead and enter my destination. Now you can come in here and actually put in name of a town. You can come in here and put in the name of a town. You can just write a name of a city and do whatever you want. You can put in a specific address, which is good for small businesses, good for your business. You can do anything you want. Resize it. You can change the zoom level. I want it to be a little bit further out than Daytona Beach. You can also put markers on the map, change exactly what the marker icon looks like. So if I wanted this little ninja to be the marker icon, I can do that. I want it to be draggable. I want my marker position to be, let's see here. I'm actually going to add, just one marker. You can change the style, the directions, as well as add in any API key if you wanted to. And again, you have your widget styles icon up here. Let's go ahead and do that and click preview. Now here, you can see that I have Daytona Beach and my little ninja icon, which I can move around anywhere I want to. So it's going to default to the address, and again, you can resize this map to anything you want to. You can even customize where it goes. Guys, that is the power of the Pageblocks widget. Now in the next video, Pageblocks plugin, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use this, and we're going to dive in and test out Pageblocks and show you what a full page looks like once it's done very quickly. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. If you guys need any help or need anything from our support team, you can always reach us at support@empowernetwork.com. Appreciate you, and make it great.